My beautiful sister, it's important for you to know that in the kingdom, the higher the calling, the higher the costs. My dear, if you clicked on this video, you are at the right place at the right time. My name is Samara Barrett, and I am your founder and host here at Healed Woman, a growing, thriving community for sisters on fire for two distinct things. One, we're dedicated to becoming women of extraordinary faith, worth, and valor. And two, we are overcoming toxic mindsets related to love, dating, and relationships through Christ-centered recovery. My dear, I'm so glad you clicked on this video. If you're an OG subscriber, come on in the room, girlfriend, because today we are tackling what it costs to have a calling, my dear, okay? Here at Healed Woman, we are no stranger to walking by faith, being tested extraordinarily, going through the wilderness, the refiner's fire. I mean, you name it, we have been through it, and we have the t-shirt to prove it, okay? We have been on some incredible faith journeys. I mean, we've been walking by faith, putting our faith in the gym, strengthening our faith muscles to make sure that we are as submitted and obedient and willing, okay? Willing to serve and do the things that the Lord has called us to do as women of God, as women of extraordinary faith, okay? But just because you have a calling on your life does not mean that it is going to be easy or without challenges or without testing, okay? There is always going to be a refining period. In fact, there are going to be multiple refining periods in your life. As we move from faith to faith, from glory to glory, you're going to be tested in the in-between, okay? To prove yourself faithful from one level to another, okay? To prove if you are still in this for the promise or if you're still in it because the promise keeper is that important to you, okay? A lot of people are pursuing things because they see God as a genie, okay? They see him as, being able to grant them their wishes. No, the Lord is in the business of granting heart's desires that he's already placed inside of you. So everything that you are asking, he already knows that you desire because he placed those things in you, and he's going to awaken them at the correct time, at his appointed time, my dear. But God is not a genie, okay? He is in the business of getting to know his children, of his children getting to know him, of walking intimately with him, okay? So when we say the higher the calling, the higher the cost, that means this life associated with being a Christian, okay, with following, taking up your bed and walking after Jesus, okay, denying yourself daily and picking up your cross and walking after him, means that you're going to have to lay some things down at his feet, girlfriend, okay? And this topic came to me as I was brainstorming or as the Spirit was speaking. What do I want to tell my sisters about this faith journey, about how to really struggle along this faith walk, what it really looks like to be a woman of extraordinary faith, worth, and valor, okay? How to really grow in the Spirit and not let the things that you either can or can't see deter you from that faith walk, okay, my dear? So when we talk about the calling and the cost, okay, you're gonna have to lay some things down. You're gonna have to sacrifice some things. What sacrifices are you willing to make to follow after God, okay? What are you willing to leave behind at the foot of the cross to follow after your Creator, okay? To get to know your Creator more intimately. I know that we have spoken or we've addressed the concept of, money is not the currency in the kingdom, and basically the things that we offer up willingly as sacrifices to be able to receive favor in return, okay? I know some of the currencies are faith and fasting, okay, my dear? So you show your faith, you show yourself faithful by believing God, believing who he says he is, and adding the works to prove it, okay, my dear? Adding the works to cement that faith, to grow your faith. But fasting is also another way to gain intimacy. It's not, quid pro quo. It's not because I'm fasting, I expect to receive something else. No, fasting primarily is for increased intimacy with the Holy Spirit. It is for developing a spirit of discipline and self-control within yourself, within your flesh. It is for allowing your spirit to really connect with the Holy Spirit often and frequently and as often as you need and as often as the Lord commands you, okay? So faith and fasting really go hand in hand on this journey. And fasting is all about sacrifice. It's all about turning down the volume of your plate, okay? You don't only have to abstain from food. You can abstain from anything that basically gets in the way, that is interceding between you and your Holy Spirit, okay? Anything that is getting in the way, that is distracting you, that is deterring you from pursuing the Holy Spirit, pursuing God with 100% of you, you got to fast from. You may even have to put that away permanently, okay? I know sometimes the most effective fast that I've gone on have been music fast or television fast or social media fast, where I'm just not even tuned into the voice of the world at all, even though I'm literally, building an online ministry. Sometimes you really do have to pull away from these devices as well, even if this is your livelihood, okay? Even if this is how how your gifts make room for you. Come on. So I'm saying it is imperative that you understand, or that you are so in tune with the Holy Spirit's voice, so that you know when he's nudging you, hey, your spirit is turned down too much, your flesh is turned up too much, I need you to decrease so I can increase, okay? And those are some of the sacrifices, or those are some of the ways that you can show the Lord, I'm willing to lay anything aside that inhibits me from my best life in you. Literally. I'm willing to cast aside whatever keeps me back, whatever prohibits me from pursuing you 100% wholeheartedly with my whole mind, heart, body, strength, like everything. Okay, my dear? So in this life of intentionally sacrificing things that you may desire, oh, you absolutely stand to gain so much more by pursuing God 100%. But you've got to show him that you're ready to sacrifice some things, that you are not coming in here full, that you were coming as an empty vessel to be used, my dear, okay? You're coming as an empty vessel so that he can fill you up, so that he can be the increase, okay? So that he can restore you, so that he can renew your soul, renew your mind, renew your heart, okay? Jesus is in the business of 100-fold restoration, my dear. 100, like 100-fold, okay? He's in the business of 100-fold restoration, my dear. So whatever you think that you are losing by having to sacrifice the small things, you stand to gain so much more by being in his presence, by being in his divine will, by being in alignment, okay, with what he has for you, the career he has for you, the work he has for you, the purpose partner he has for you, okay, my dear? So many things are attached to laying down your desires and laying down your preferences and laying down your type, okay? Let's be real here. Laying down your type, laying down my type, like ripping up my list, was probably the best thing I did for myself. Hands down. We're speaking in terms of relationships, because that's something that Healed Woman we talk about on this channel, okay, honey? Join us, every Friday or whenever I upload videos about relationships and the queen mentality, okay? It's on and popping on this channel. So when we talk about relationships, I've talked about the concept of dropping the list, basically ripping up your list of preferences and allowing the Holy Spirit to tell you, to show you, to introduce you to his choice of a purpose partner for you. By having a list of preferences, you're boxing God into some very superficial, I can assure you, very superficial traits or characteristics of a partner, when he is literally dying to show you who he has handcrafted for you, my dear, okay? So first thing, like one of the easiest things you can do literally right now is just rip up that list, okay? Rip up that list, turn down the volume of your plate, even if it's just for a meal a day, or turning down the literal volume of the music and tuning into the spirit. I mean, there's so many beautiful things you can do to show the Lord, I respect the calling on my life. Okay, that's essentially what we're talking about here. Not just sacrifices, but when you answer the call in your life, there will be sacrifices required of you. Okay, you'll be walking in something new. You'll be pivoting, every day in either small or major ways that you never even imagine. Okay, he's going to call the most unlikely people to do the most unlikely things, the most unimaginable things, but it will make a miracle. It won't make sense, but it will make a miracle, my dear, okay? So for my sisters, God's daughters who are on this amazing faith journey, who are being tested, who are being refined, who are being pruned, okay, who are being, taught and educated and developed in this dark season, in this obscure season, honey, God is right there with you, okay? The call on your life is not in vain. It's not a small one, which is why it's such a big cost. It's going to cost you. There's this popular quote, your new life is going to cost you your old one. Honey, it is worth it. I'd give up my old life 100 times over if I knew that I was always going to end up serving a king. If I knew I was always going to end up, walking in such beautiful alignment, okay? Being able to encourage and empower and uplift my sisters for a living. Hello? Like my purpose? Oh no, I'd give up whatever career I studied 100 times over if I knew that this was going to be my purpose all along. Honey, I would have started sooner, okay? I would have started sooner. walking in purpose and walking in my God-given authority and embracing my spiritual gifts. That is part of the calling, and that is part of the cost too. That's part of the cost as well. Saying whatever comes along this journey, whatever is required of me to sacrifice, whatever I have to do, to make sure that I stay in alignment with the Holy Spirit and His will for me, I'm going to do it wholeheartedly, no question. And my desire is for all of us to get to that point where we do sacrifice, we do lay down, we do cast aside, we do fast and pray, we do all the things 100% willingly, cheerfully, obediently, submittedly, okay, surrendered to the Lord because we trust Him that much with our life. I promise you, 100-fold, remember? 100-fold restoration. Whatever He's going to strip from you, the more you lay down, the more He's going to take, the more permission you give Him to take those things away from you. He's going to replace them with life-giving sources, life-giving connections, okay? Walking in purpose, you'll make the most money you've ever made in your whole entire life, but you've got to cast aside that job that you think is offering you security in exchange for the call, my dear, the call. The call on your life is not in vain. It's not a small one, and it's not one to ignore either. So when we think about saying yes to a faith walk, I really want you to consider the cost associated with it and still choose God. Still choose God, because it is 100 times better than whatever life you're considering right now, my dear. And that's real talk. That is real talk, my dear. We always think, oh, what a better life or a different life I could have had I chose this, or, had the Lord not pulled me down this road. But I can assure you, people who truly live for Christ, they don't regret the path that they're on. I don't regret it. I know you don't regret it either. No matter how difficult it is, no matter how challenging, no matter how confusing sometimes, you know that it is 110,000 million% better than whatever life you were steeped in before. So I encourage you, and I promise you that whatever God is calling you to is so much better than you can even imagine or dream or conceive or conceptualize in your mind, in your mind's eye, okay? He is so much better for you. But I want you all to be aware of what it means to walk according to the call over your life and still choose Jesus. Still choose Jesus. Choose to give Him your unwavering yes. Okay, my dear? That is my prayer. That is our little chat for Struggles of a Faith Walk. I pray that gave you some really good insight into the actual, the realities of being a woman of extraordinary faith and what it means to have a calling on your life and how important it is to say yes, to give God your unwavering yes. So with that, my dear, I pray this message bless you, and I will see you on the other side of healing. Stay blessed, my sis.